5 seconds. Start. Dear members, the new measures on foreign direct investment announced by the government this week will give a boost to the economic reform process, which is considered to have taken a back seat recently. The defeat in the Bihar Assembly elections may have promoted the government to come out with the new measures. The electoral drubbing had given an impression in some quarters that the government had become weak and may not have the will to take important decisions. But the government may have wanted to give the message that its reform agenda had not been affected by the defeat and that it will pursue the course of economic reforms. The measures announced to liberalize foreign direct investment in a number of sectors are of a major nature. They have been widely welcomed by the investors. It is to be noted that they are executive decisions taken by the government and did not need legislative changes or support. The relaxations in the foreign direct investment regime in a wide range of sectors including defense, banking, construction, broadcasting, civil aviation and manufacturing will make Indian business an attractive destination for foreign investment. It will also make it easier to do business in India. Banks will be able to expand their capital base with different types of foreign investors being allowed to own up to 74% in private banks separately or collectively. It is important for the private banking sector to be strengthened because even with some proposed reforms, government-owned banks will take time to gain health. Procedures have been simplified and approvals made easier with investments up to 49% being put under the automatic route in the key defense sector. The lifting of many restrictions in the construction sector and the provision for automatic repatriation of proceeds will help the beaten down sector to look up. Construction is an important area because it has backward and forward links in the economy. The government also has an ambitious housing program. All sectors covered by the new foreign direct investment regime will benefit from the measures. While these decisions at the executive level are welcome, there is much ground to be covered by way of enabling legislation. The alienation between the government and the opposition and the paralysis of parliament have resulted in failure to enact key legislations. It is the government's responsibility to secure the support of opposition parties for them. The most important among them are the constitutional amendment to introduce a goods and service tax regime and the bankruptcy law. The government should ensure that they are passed in the winter session of Parliament. Another typical issue is that the rescue plan for the loss-making state electricity boards approved by the Union Cabinet is more ambitious and perhaps more practicable than previous attempts. This is the third such effort by the central government in the past over 10 years to tackle the problems of state power distribution companies which are weighed down by debt and have no hope of commercial viability in the present circumstances. The Power Minister is hopeful that the plan called the Ujjwal Discomforts Assurance Yojana will lead to a clean up of the financial mess in the power distribution sector in a few years. The program is considered more comprehensive than previous ones because it goes beyond mere restructuring and proposes efficiency improvement, cost cutting, reduction of losses, increases in the tariffs, involvement of regulators, and ultimately making states accountable for the performance of discomforts. But the power sector cannot attain good health till there is a fairer and more realistic correspondence between costs and tariffs. Discomforts will also have to be managed more professionally. Corrupting flourishes in many of them. The bailout plan has been generally welcomed, especially by banks, but it will offer only temporary solution if all the performance issues are not fully addressed. The plan envisages a gradual takeover of much of the loans of discomforts by state governments which can issue bonds to raise funds, which is a sound principle. The rising of tariffs is not an acceptable idea for politicians. So balance between quantum of loan and existing tariffs is the remedy. Dear Sir, thank you for your telephonic call of the day and trust that the information given to you by our colleague over phone clarifies all your doubts. However, at the sake of repetition, I would like to reiterate to you that you are welcome at any working day and time for subscribing your identity and address proof, both original and duplicate, to enable us to register that number in our records and see that there will be short message service alerts every time whenever you do the transaction on your account, either debit or credit. I hope you have already made known that a meager sum of rupees 30 per month is levied for this facility, which will be debited from your account and appropriated accordingly. Further, I also take the opportunity to inform you that recently in our bank we have introduced release of all kinds of loans such as vehicle loan, home loan, personal loan, gold loan, mortgage loan, overdraft, etc. at the branch level itself, which makes any customer not only to enjoy the facility but also avoid inordinate wait time. Moreover, you can also earn 6% interest on the amount over and above rupees 1 lakh invested in your savings bank account, which is more useful as a short-term deposit account, as you need not go for opening a fixed deposit amount separately, as also you can choose to withdraw from your savings bank account as and when you wish to do so. In addition to these, I would also like to inform you that you are at liberty to refer any of your young friends to join our bank's workforce, as we are on the massive drive of recruiting the young talents. Yours very truly, branch manager.